Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. So, I've been getting a few requests to go into this subject a little deeper. This is China's long-standing, unbelievably believable global domination plan. You know, it sounds unbelievable and just unconscionable and hideous and horrific that one nation would want to take over the whole world and have the world be one race. But China thinks generationally, respecting the advantages of time. It's a culturally pervasive trait in the entire history of China that they've always utilized time as a tool or recognized it as a tool and revered it. So after thousands of years of this reverence, this philosophy, I firmly believe, was kind of culminated to a crystallization point in 1974 when Mao ran China. And Mao thought very globally and very historically. And he set up this realistic plan to create the first global emperor. China reveres the first emperor of China, so much so that the tomb hasn't even been opened. And it is supposed to be the most incredible tomb possible. And I think if you look at what's been found around the first emperor's tomb, I think it will ultimately someday, if ever opened, prove to be the most extraordinary tomb ever built. And throughout time, I think China has wanted that kind of prestige again, that kind of hallmark, if you will. And I'm sure, like we do now, Mao looked at humanity and saw how easily we were tricked or frightened or divided by profiteers over our differences. And he recognized that one race could rule the planet and maintain sanity more so than this mix of different types of people. This is his belief, not mine. So pragmatically and secretly, a global domination plan has been completed already in stages, a 50-year plan. And as time has passed, the plan has been augmented by successive leaders until now, where everything, in my opinion, is ready. And Xi is just waiting for the right moment to pounce. And I'll fill you in on some more of the details. This plan involves saving up tremendous resources, digging underground cities, stealing the best technology over years, secretly surpassing all the nations with advanced technologies, and then undermining the other countries with infrastructure bombs, both literal kind of bombs and figurative bombs in the infrastructure, from financial systems, which our financial system is literally, teetering at their will. They will undermine social structure, pit enemies against each other, and then at the right moment, when all the governments that are of threat to China are weak, that's when this plan will be executed. And it's required a lot of work and effort in the highest levels of secrecy. I believe that they are ready. They're literally ready. The 50-year plan would technically be next year to, execute the plan. It would be exactly 50 years. It could be 2025, but it could be sooner. China has these cities built underground that are connected by trains, and Xi also has his own special little city, and it is connected and has access to an underground space program. I know that sounds wacky, but it's essentially a space program that's just been brought onto the surface a little bit so that it could work after an apocalypse. And this war, this pouncing at a moment of weakness, will take place with a devastating, simultaneous, multi-form attack, which this planet has never seen the likes of previously. You know, Al-Qaeda used simultaneous attacks in great sophistication, and this is taking that whole premise to the next level, a whole nation state. And they will crash economies. All this stuff is going to happen simultaneously. There'll be a shutdown of the supply chain, slaughtering of our satellites. China holds the high ground in space. China holds a cislunar high ground and a base on the dark side. We know this. And there will be an infrastructure crash. All this stuff will happen simultaneously the same day. And this infrastructure stuff will be things that have been previously placed, ready to go off when ready, but then also manual sabotage and other aspects. There will be a massacre of leaders. And I've spoken about this before, the fastest missile. The fastest missile is not hypersonic. The fastest missile is the one that's already there. And I believe hidden in the United States are some fastest missiles, let's just say. I also think that they are using and ready to use biological weapons and the NHI technology. Now, let me go into this just a little further here. The NHI technology and new super weapons are really stupefying, and we don't know how advanced they are. We have had some insights into their programs, but it's more secret than we know. China also realizes that we realize that China, its structure of the society and the economy and everything, is teetering on instability right now. China will collapse financially and socially within, I think, 3 to 5 years. And the fact that China knows that we know that they know this is the state, and there's no kind of like open discussions to kind of curtail the tragedies that will happen in China if they don't launch this kind of offensive. The fact that it's not being talked about makes the dark possibilities more likely. But there's some advantages. If this is true, what I say here is true, and my astrals are true, then we should be able to find preset requirements put in place. We would find devices camouflaged in cities, especially like Washington, D.C. and Virginia, devices that are hidden that look like one thing, but they're really something else. And we should be able to find those. And when we find them, the activation level could tell us more about them and about this plan. It could be used also in a very powerful way to confront China and offer a sane alternative. Say, hey, we know what you're thinking about. This is the sane alternative to that. And that would be, of course, all of us working together. China knows about the eschatological dangers happening on the planet now with our magnetosphere, everything. And that we're on the cusp of mega disasters. So I think Five Eyes needs to look for this stuff, garner it, examine its activation level, and then it can be used to confront China and offer this same solution of togetherness. Right now, we don't own cislunar. That's the high ground. China owns the high ground right now and is advanced more than us in terms of space. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. China is on the moon, and its effort there also entails something really extraordinary. Reaching what I call the hallmark before any other nation. And the hallmark is essentially being let into the library of knowledge about the NHI. Tremendous knowledge. We think we're kind of stupid in many ways versus what other intellects could be across the universe. But perhaps we are not as far away from knowing almost everything about this universe than we might believe. This is a very serious subject, and I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts about it. Um, I have some more specifics on it if you'd like me to go deeper, and I love you guys. Much love.